Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're taking a look at some altcoins, some big updates here, some good, some bad, and some absolutely beautiful. So stay tuned for all of these upcoming in this video, and check out the pinned comment down below for FTX Exchange. Get yourself signed up. One of the best trading environments in crypto, and the link below will save you some trading fees as well. So let's jump in here, starting with this Rect Capital with the BTC update here. So a weekly retest is looking really good thus far. He starts off. Looks like Bitcoin has dug deep into the green support down here, previous resistance over here, turned to support here, and it successfully established a base to reverse from. A weekly close above the green box would be a fantastic sign of a strength on this weekly retest. So what we've experienced this week has been this wick down. So this is our candle here, this red one, and we've had this wick down deep into the low 55k region. Of course, that caused a lot of panic within the markets. But what this is showing here is that we've just wicked down. We're not setting up for a weekly close down here. We're actually back around $59,000 right now, which is roughly the top of this previous range. So this is just a perfect support resistance flip. The previous resistance is now going to be support, and this should be a nice baseline from which to develop from. Then one of the most important charts in crypto right now is the Ethereum versus BTC chart. So this from Pentoshi, ETH has one last resistance left. It's held the trend line perfectly and is about to break out potentially towards what he suggests a 0.1 to 0.11 BTC target. So let's just blow this up. And you can see this was the previous trend line. It was going in this wedge, broke out, and then is now forming a new pattern here with this previous top trend line here being a level of support. And then if we have the horizontal coming in here, we're kind of seeing this wedge formation. We've been bouncing around in this region now for a few months, and it looks like it will break to the upside at some point, whether this is imminent or maybe in a month, 2 months time, who knows? But there's a high probability we break out from this region and go and test these upper levels that we saw back in 2018 and even earlier in 2017. And with it, an Ethereum breakout typically takes altcoins with it. So that would spark a major alt season. Crypto Fear and Greed Index, quick check in here at 49, pretty much back to market neutrality once again. Now, this is the story that I'm going to dub beautiful, as in a world where we have many of our leaders in our countries acting like idiots. I'm sure a lot of people here in the UK aren't pretty happy with the current standings. While you're seeing real unique leadership from a young president over in El Salvador, Nabil Bukele. So this guy has now doubled down on the crypto investment side here. El Salvador to create a Bitcoin city. I'm not sure if it's legit going to be called Bitcoin City, but it sounds from this article that he might well be calling it Bitcoin City. He's going to use 500 million of a planned $1 billion bond offering to buy more crypto. This has been leveraged via Bitfinex. Some of the key pieces in here, according to Bukele, Bitcoin City will be a fully fledged metropolis with residential and commercial areas, restaurants, and airport, as well as port and rail services. So he's going to build out key infrastructure into a brand new city, and this will be laid out in a circle like a coin in the city center. There will be a plaza that will host a huge Bitcoin symbol. The city will have no income, property, capital gains, or payroll taxes. Absolutely beautiful stuff, and I'm sure a lot of people will be flocking to El Salvador. A few questions over safety concerns over there, but I'm sure after this bull run, a lot of people are going to make a lot of money. And when you see this kind of thing, where you don't have to pay taxes, you're going to get a nice climate and a very much forward-thinking president of the country. Well, I'm pretty sure these guys are going to be inundated with requests for citizenship. So Bukele also said El Salvador plans to issue $1 billion US Bitcoin bond, a tokenized financial instrument developed by Blockstream. And of this, $500 million will be used to construct the energy and Bitcoin mining infrastructure. And then $500 million will go to just buying Bitcoin. So they're going to be a net buyer of $500 billion worth of BTC. And at current prices, this will mean they will hold over 2,000 Bitcoins. So a great start to the episode here. Now on to slightly ropier proceedings here. We have Binance chain. So this is the Binance bridge, which was amazing for quite a lot of time. And they actually made transfers from Ethereum to BSC free of the ETH fee. All you had to do was pay gas, but typically the bridging fee is quite expensive, usually in the hundreds of dollars, but they waived that for us. Anyway, they've announced this, that on the 25th of November, which is 4 days away, they're actually closing this bridge service. So this was a major railroad into the BSC network, and now this is going. So this is not particularly bullish in my opinion. Of course, this is reducing the ways you can get into BSC, and this was my favored route in. However, there are still bridges out there. AnySwap is one that has all the bridges pretty much. And this made me think, do we need to cover this in a dedicated episode just to get everyone comfortable with bridging their funds across different chains? We're moving to a very much multi-chain future that is so evident right now. And so being able to transfer your coins with a bit of confidence across these networks is probably something most people need to gem up on. So drop a comment down below if you'd like me to go over the use of AnySwap, and maybe we can bridge through a few different blockchains here. Maybe we'll go ahead and use Binance Smart Chain, maybe we'll use Mover, AVAX, Phantom, a few of these different things. So drop a comment down below if you're interested in that. But obviously Binance reducing the service here, and I think this is around KYC issues. So they're definitely getting a bit of a regulatory clampdown. So this onto FTT here. So I would highly recommend getting an account. There is a link down below and it will help me out, but it will also help you out as well, as you'll receive 5% off your trading fees. Now, what I like about FTT and the FTX guys is they've made it very simple to transfer your coins from different blockchains directly into their exchange. So if I just bring up here, depositing BNB coin. So say we pass the 25th here and you're struggling to maybe bridge your funds for whatever reason, and you've got some BNB on a BSC wallet and you want to stick them on an exchange to sell them out. Well, if you go to deposit here on FTX, you will see you can deposit BEP2 tokens, which is not what you want if you've got them on your Binance Smart Chain. But down here, you can see BNB can also be deposited via BSC as well. So they've got a load of these integrations where you can deposit BSC-based funds easily and then get them onto a centralized exchange to sell them off. And then just bringing up another coin here, MAPS token here. As you can see, they've got many of these Solana-based tokens good to go with both their ERC20, the Ethereum-based versions, and also the Solana SPL versions as well. So this one allows you to pretty much interoperate between different chains with a centralized endpoint for you to cash out your gains. So go and check out FTX Exchange, link down below. They are burning their FTT coin like mad as well. $9 million burned over this last week, and I'm a holder of FTT and I stake it on here, and you do get some pretty nice serum airdrops. So over to the Terra ecosystem here, and a bit of an update and a rant from Do Kwon, the leader of this crew, the lunatic master, aka Stablecoin. So for the extremely impatient lunatics on my timeline, a digestible explanation as to why the Luna burn is value additive. So a lot of people have been complaining about price. Pretty much I would suggest it's because Avalanche is outperforming everything right now. And it's even trending by here. And of course, it's outperforming Luna by quite a bit right now. But we see this kind of toing and froing of different layer 1 blockchains all the time. Solana went off like a rocket, then it had a bit of a pullback, then other things started to go. Like if you are playing the rotation game, by all means, you should have jumped into AVAX a couple of weeks back, but now it's run really hard. So I'd suggest getting into AVAX right now is a dangerous position. But if anything, it makes me more bullish on the likes of Luna here, as it has not yet had a major run. And as we're seeing, all these L1s are having a big move up. So onto what Do is explaining here. Why is the Luna burn value add? So first of all, it creates billions in cash flow for Luna stakers over the next 2 years and makes Luna a highly counter-cyclical asset. So remember, we had that vote to burn over 88 million Luna coins and to condense the time from 3 years to 2 years over which the fees are distributed to stakers. So after Columbus 5, all swap fees for burning Luna to Terra get paid out to the Luna stakers. Staking rewards are paid out in UST, the stablecoin. This makes Luna pretty unique amongst proof-of-stake assets in paying out double-digit, 13% so far, in non-recursive assets. So this makes Luna counter-cyclical to market downturns. When Luna price goes down, the staking returns go up linearly. So other staking assets don't have this property. In literally any other POS system, price falls of the native staking token also decrease the staking rewards, as the basis is the same. So the community burn makes Luna a significantly more resilient asset to downturns. He also points out here that the 5 billion in UST to be minted is actually going to be put to really good use. So it's not just being created in a vacuum, it's going to be put to use to protect against the depeg risk of UST for that insurance protocol and to aid multi-chain expansion. So an important point on the depeg risk here, he's growing tired of arguing with idiots on Twitter, as he says, whether UST can remain stable in a bear market. This is due to the fact UST depegged back in May. So soon I'll propose creating a multi-billion-dollar reserve in decentralized assets such as Bitcoin in attempt to save myself some time here. So having a massive reserve of other assets like Bitcoin will be a huge step forward here. Second to this, in terms of the insurance protocol Ozone, Terra will be the most secure chain to deploy apps and UST, the safest asset once this goes live. And he says to wait until the burn finishes for this. And then in terms of aiding multi-chain expansion, over the last 12 months, Terra was focused on cultivating the economy domestic of the Terra chain. We will soon have the right infrastructure to support massive expansion of UST on other major chains. The goal is to have UST absolutely everywhere. And some community pool UST will also be used to create deep liquidity over multiple pools in different ecosystems. So a lot is going to be going on here. I think the word patience is key for many Luna holders. People have been a bit antsy over on Twitter, and of course this has clearly annoyed Do Kwon here, so this is his response. But most of the loyal lunatics are waiting patiently for the magic to happen, such as myself. Now over to Trustswap here, a nice big move, 22% up today. But why is this? Well, they've had a few things here. They've just redone their token launchpad allocation tiers. So this means that for every 2,000 jump up in your staked swap, you get an additional multiplier. So 1x allocation for 4,000 staked. If you go up 2,000 swap staked, you get a 2x on that. So if 1 is $50, 2 is going to be $100, $150, $200, so on and so forth. They've reduced the gaps between these lower tiers to make it easier for people to progress up the ladder here. So this is explained by Jeff down here. He wants to help smaller holders easily increase their multiple and rewarding the larger holders with larger launchpad allocations. The workings are within this tweet. Go and check it out. And then someone asks, when is the next launchpad? And he says on the 25th of November. No other communications on this as of yet. Maybe that will come tomorrow on Monday. Now, one thing to think about, a little bit of a strategy that you can have with these that I previously used on the paid network was to take the winnings from your launchpad allocation. So say you get a new IDO, you get say 50% of your tokens up front, it pulls a 10x. Well, you've just made a load of cash. Now, if you want to try and compound the effect here, what you can do is sell those tokens into the swap token in this case here and have a lot more swap. You then stake those swap and progress up the ladder, and thus in the next IDO you're going to have an even bigger allocation. So of course this is one strategy that can be used. It could be seen as high risk because if the market collapses, IDO tokens don't do very well. But if this bull run does progress for a long time here and you can get yourself way up the rankings and start getting a huge allocation on some IDOs that do very well, well, it can be life changing. So a little bit of alpha and strategy there. Now next up, Popsicle Finance. Covered this one on Friday. I actually bought some more today. So this one, I filmed the video on Friday and we were like down here somewhere. It was Friday morning, around $22 when I was checking in on the video. And then I came back to releasing the video and I was going to buy some of these coins and it was already up to like $31, $32. So I did leave it, but it has since come back down and I've been able to make an entry. I do really like Popsicle Finance, ICE, Dani, all of his projects, and so I wanted to get involved, especially since this is down such a long way off the highs just 2 weeks ago. It's down 60% over the last 2 weeks. So when you spot good stuff and it has a deep retrace like that, it's a good point to get in. I also added Spell as well. Market cap 1.4 billion. It's now gone up since I bought this one. I bought this one yesterday, and I think my entry price was somewhere around here, 1.68, I believe I paid. And hopefully this is now going to show a nice sign of recovery, as this one has also been selling off, but maybe we've put in a bottom down here. So this is 47% off of the highs. So my thing in crypto is to always back the best minds. And Danielle Sester here is just a genius. Go and listen to the Frog Radio podcasts. A few people asked, where is this? Just type in Frog Radio on YouTube and you'll find it. He's had a couple of AMAs here and he will really inspire you. So if you're into DeFi and you haven't checked out his tokens before, come and give this a bit of a listen. We've got almost 4 hours worth of content here, and there's a lot more online you can find out about him. But you want to be backing the major thought leaders in innovative spaces. And if this guy is pretty much turning DeFi on its head and extracting maximum value for his token holders, well, that's the kind of train I'd like to be on. They've also just deployed over on Binance Smart Chain as well, and his vision is to go fully multi-chain and take money out of all the chains where money is to be had. So the kind of mantra that I like. Now finally here on to Polkadot, some big news over the last week. So Bill Laboon, give him a follow. He is the comms lead for Polkadot. So first and foremost, congratulations to Akala. They won the first Polkadot parachain auction. So the first parachain to ever go live is going to be Akala's. This is a monumental and historic moment in time, although it may not seem it right now, it will be in hindsight. So they will be onboarded as a parachain at the start of the next lease period on 17th of December. So there's 5 parachain positions that will be filled going into this first slot here on the 17th of December. And of course, Akala have sealed number 1. Note that the auction ended with a higher bid from Moonbeam, so they actually staked more DOT tokens, but due to the candle auction mechanism, Akala, which was in the lead for around 66% of the ending period, actually won. Immediately, this second auction has now taken place and Moonbeam is the leader. Of course, it has the spillover of all those tokens already bonded to it, and roughly 90 million DOT now, around 8% of the total issuance is locked for the parachain leases or crowd loans. Then secondly, we have a bit of a rebrand. Let's just check this out. Rebranding is pretty cool, gives a new lease of life, a bit of a coat of paint to, and I think it's also a good opportunity to just restate all your stuff, you know, have a big advertising campaign around your project and you build up all this marketing material. So I think Polkadot's going to get pushed like crazy now that this vote has been complete. So this is the identity, as they call it, that is going live. We'll just play a quick clip of this. So a very fresh, up-to-date, I would say 2022 feel to this. And it just looks super dope. So I really like the aesthetics behind those. So that is, as they call it, the identity. And here is the new logo that won with 81% of the votes. Some people are annoyed that the polka dots are no longer the tiny dots and lots of them, but they've gone for a kind of oval shape to these dots here and a few less of them. Sounds a little bit like Kanye West track. But new branding, nice aesthetics, nice clean text, going multinational as well. So that is the Polkadot rebrand coming up here. Then over onto the auction site here, you can see Akala was the winner, 32 million DOT bonded to that parachain. Moonbeam now has 34 million for the second round here, so clearly that's going to win as A-Star is miles behind here. And then we have 5 slots in total going up to the 16th of December. And we've got a few runners in here, A-Star, Parallel Finance, Clover, Manta, all getting pretty decent numbers of DOT, including Efinity and Lit Entry into that as well. There's a bit of a cliff down to the thousands here with Darwinia. If you press this button by here, this shows you the estimated rewards for these various parachains. So one thing that's a bit annoying for me, as I really wanted to get a load of Moonbeam tokens, is the fact that now this is open for this second week period here. More and more DOT are going to be bonded to Moonbeam. It's clearly evident that they're going to win this second slot, but this means the more DOT that gets bonded, the more diluted you're going to get, because there's a set amount of Glimmer tokens to be dished out. And so the more DOT that comes and bonds to this, the less each person is going to get. So this is why I was really hoping they would win slot 1, as I think this one was potentially going to have the highest upside. But you can't win them all, and there's still going to be hopefully a nice lucrative payday to come from many of these. I did bond to Akala as well, so I'll be getting some Akala tokens. I've also already bonded to A-Star, but looking through some of these, what's going to be very interested is in later rounds having some DOT on hand, because there could be some cases where we have, like, say 25% of token supply going to the crowd loaners, and then not a huge allocation in terms of people actually bonding their DOT, and so you can get higher rewards. So if you're going for a pure ROI standpoint on this, which I'm sure most people are, especially probably in the latter stages of these auctions, keep some DOT back because I do think there will be some great opportunities to scoop up some tokens which could return high yields. With that being said, very bullish on Polkadot. Clearly a huge demand for the token right now, over 90 million already allocated here. That's roughly around 8.5% of total circulating supply. And we look forward to the beginning of this ecosystem. It's going to be crazy to see how this layer 0 architecture actually rolls out and what it's like in production. Of course, you do bond your DOT for 2 years once you do this, but I don't think that's the end of the world. In 2 years' time, Polkadot will be worth a lot more money. So you're pretty much enforcing yourself to diamond hand hold that crypto. So there we have it, a rundown on some altcoins and some news over this weekend. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure you check out the link down below for FTX Exchange. Sign yourselves up and get a nice discount on your trading fees. Catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.